Live from YMSL Studios. Welcome to the Week 1 Douglas Report. It hasn't been the Dashless in a few years. I'm your host, Bobby Marabia, and to my left, NRJ, the Captain, GM, Director of Player Personnel of the Montreal Expos. You brought him back from the dead. And Norman, first of all, welcome back as being a captain for the first time. And,
Thank you, Bobby. It's an honor to be a captain in the YMSL, the greatest softball league around. We all know that. And I want to welcome all our viewers from Canada, from Quebec, and across the globe, actually. Welcome.
And by the way, we mentioned we are a sister station, CTV is carrying it live. And we also have French-speaking analysts covering. And Norman, your franchise has created a big buzz on the YMSL this year, and you guys haven't even put a uniform on yet.
No, and we are very, very excited to get going. The bye week, week 1, is not what we wanted with all the momentum of our fans and everything, but we're ready to go next week. We cannot wait. The fan support has been immense, and we're ready to go.
I mean, just to show you how excited you are, most players on their bye week are out spending time with the family, playing golf, and you were out scouting at all the fields on Sunday.
That's right. I paid a little more attention to Memorial 3 because next week our opponent is the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Three River Stadium was jumping while I was there watching the Pirates and the Bad News Bears. But we'll get to that game. But I did scout every single game at Memorial. The 3 Memorial games I scouted, and I sent the notes back to my team. So I think we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, no, and once again, this year, unbelievably, I think the most balanced year I've seen in a long time as far as all the teams, a lot of young new talent. Some guys you on your team you haven't even met yet.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're excited about that. Come Sunday, but the first game we're going to start with is, as usual, Memorial 1, the
feature game. Yes.
Between Exit 105, which is Nathan Towell's team, versus Hustle, a.k.a. Insane.
Yes, also Hustle, an insane brand.
And
yes.
Ironically, it was Mo Sham on Exit 105 going up against his former team.
Still strange to see, but the home crowd of Insane did give Mo Sham a standing ovation, and he gave the wave, a teary-eyed hello, and then it was down to business. Because
barely got a hello out of him, but nonetheless, and lo and behold, who was the first person to show up at the game?
Yes, Robert Red Nesser was there early. He also got a wild standing ovation.
Got a huge applause, and I don't know if he was auditioning for a job or what he was doing. He was pitching on the sidelines, maybe trying to impress some scouts.
Now he did not submit his paperwork into the office for retirement yet, so he is not yet up for the Hall of Fame.
He is still, he hasn't retired yet. And actually, we'll talk about it later. A couple of injuries with some pitches. So,
he may get the call.
They get that call as a spot up. He's a lefty also. They can stick around till they're 101.
That's true.
He might be close to that anyway. So, anyway, this was a great game. This is Ike Mavora also returning as a pitcher for the Hustle.
Ike spent a year in the minor leagues. Yeah. Good to see that a team gave him another go at it and called him back up. And he answered the bell.
Yeah, he was first round pick by Jack Jamal. He did bypass Mo Shama. Going up against Max Shadid, and he's an up and coming star in the league. And you caught him a couple of years ago, and
everyone knows Max has the talent. It's all a matter of can he stay strong enough mentally. And something that a few people said during the draft was maybe with this team he can. Maybe with Nathan and Jack Haddad and Mo Shama. Even David Bracca, a couple of these more experienced guys, maybe with these guys around him, he can, take it to the next level. And he and Mavora both pitched very well in this game.
Yeah, no, this was a great game. And Bracca's coming out with a vengeance this year. Looked good. He was trimmed up a little bit.
Yep.
And he was coming off season. He was injured last year, but he had a stroke the other day. He was back to back to
that tennis backhand stroke that he had.
He was known for the left center, right center shots, and he was back to doing that. So he looked like, and that could be a major a plus for Exit 105.
Great pick, very, very late, and they took a chance because he did struggle mightily last year, but I think they, like everyone else, knew he was really injured last year, but they're the one that said, you know what, we're going to take him and he's going to be good this year. and he responded right away. He went 3 for 5, couple of runs. He ran for himself, no pinch runner, a couple of ribbies.
Yeah.
So, David Bracken knows how to get on base despite a poor year last year.
Yeah, no question about it. And he was the big question mark because if he had anything resembling his years past that was going to help him. Eli Patesh, another 500 hitter, all in all. So this team's good, and I would like to say I want a special shout out to Leon Sakal, who came, and his wife was actually due on Sunday.
Really?
And he came from New York, and that's just to show you how dedicated these players are to the YMSL. And he had a big sacrifice RBI, and he had a couple of big hits. And
he had a couple of plays also. I saw a couple of high pops that he caught. Leon is a gamer, always will be. He does always miss that 1 week he's in Wildwood on around I think Memorial Day weekend or whenever it's busy down there. It's Leon is a gamer, and he's always he'll always be there for his team.
Yeah, there's no question about that, and I think the team appreciated that. Slow start, Eli Harari once again. With very slow there, 1 for 7.
Eli, I believe, started slow last year, so he has that Ike Davis thing where he wakes up in the second half. Nathan Towell, 1 for 7. Yeah. David Towell, 0 for 6.
Rookie. What a potential there. He's a great athlete, so maybe he was a little butterflies for his first week.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of guys that stood out. Ezra Sakal, very good fielding second baseman, rookie from Hillel, and slick fielder, not much with a bat. So this was a good game. Now
this was a good game. It was actually 0-0 into the second half of game 1. I think it was the late 4th or top of the 5th before a run was scored. So it was a nice pitcher's duel between Mavora and Maxi Deed. But eventually it was Hustle 6 and Exit 105 with 3. So Hustle took game 1.
Big 4-run 6th in game 1, put the game away. Actually, grand slam home run by Avi Dweck. And
Avi can hit.
Inning. Yeah, definitely. That was the big break in that inning, and so they put the game away. And so Leo Picciotto struggled 0 for 7 on the day, and he's coming off an injury, so maybe that was affecting his swing a little bit.
Well, the Hustle will tell you it's getting the cobwebs off of Leo, but a lot of people around the league are saying that the Leo pick in front of Sonny was a little bit questionable, and now Leo started 0 for 7. So we got to see how Leo responds in the next coming weeks. Give him the benefit of the doubt. It is opening day. He did face a tough pitcher, but
right.
The watch is going to be on Leo next week, definitely.
Yeah, well, I guess that benefited Juve if they left Sonny there on the table.
Well, we'll see what Sonny does also.
We'll see. An interesting note to report, Soli Shahabar came up a little limp, a groin injury. Right now is listed as day-to-day.
There was actually a big medical presence at this week 1, which is normal for week 1. Everyone's a little rusty and just first getting back, a little bit colder weather. But the YMSL medical staff was all over the place yesterday.
Yeah, no, we a lot of guys. I just had to shorten the exhibition season, so due to the weather, so a lot of guys. Also, it was the debut of Zach Ashkenazi at shortstop this year. And there's no doubt he's definitely going to can play every position, and he was 2 for 7 on the day. So game 2 was a lot more interesting game. It was a much closer affair. Exit 105 took a 3-0 lead. Braca tripled in a run, and Sakal drove in another run with a sac fly. It was 3-0 going into the 7th inning, and the Hustle, put a little scare into it by scoring 2 runs in the 7th, and actually had the tying run on base. Stephen Safdie tripled in a run. Avi Dweck drove him in, and then the game ended. Jack Jamal, flied out to end the game, but
Maxi Deed pitched a great game, but you'd like to see him close the door with the 3-0 lead in the last inning. You'd like to see him have a nice, easy inning, but he got the job done. He only gave up 2 runs against a decent hitting team, So obviously, Exit 105 will take the victory. Beautiful uniforms by Exit 105, by the way. The big sign on their chest, I like it.
Columbia blue. Mavor pitched a great game, 6 runs in two games.
Hey, when Mavor was in AAA, that would be 2 wins. But now that he's back in the major leagues, 6 runs in 2. Sometimes you lose a tough luck game at this level.
And he was 3 for 6 on the day, so nice return back to the majors. So they split, which was good for both teams, because as we know, last year Dallas started out with a very very slow start, and so this was a nice way for them. Now we're going to go to Memorial 2, which was a great, interesting pitching matchup. It was the return after 7 years of David Gindey and versus Jeffrey Saka. So this was a big matchup way back in 1997.
Yes.
And it still is today. And
2 first-round picks still today in 2013.
I mean, really, just to show you how long it's been, I'd had at least 30, 40 guys in the league come up to me and say, "Who's this David Gindey guy?"
It's amazing that so many people in the league don't even know who he is.
I mean,
he was a top pitcher for so long.
They weren't even bar mitzvah the last time he played. Some of these kids, so they didn't really know what he was about. But they found out very fast because after 7 years, he threw a shutout in the first game, and he had a lot of heat, and he came back. And
I gotta tell you, when we had the draft show and we went through our predictions, we both agreed these are 2 of the stronger teams in the league. We both said they're both playoff teams. So to play each other was, I guess, a little bit of bad luck, and they each got away with a shutout and with a split. So I think they each could have started 2-0 if they played different teams. They just happened to bump into each other so early in the season.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of the first game, the 4-0 game, and David Gindey was pitching strong. He was on target, and Jeffrey Saka was also. He gave up his runs in 1 inning early, and then the score just held up. Very good defense on both sides. Jacob Jamal played right field and had, I think, 6 or 7 putouts in right field.
S is injured at a sprained ankle. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks, so Jigga might have found himself
a outfield position.
It could be a Wally Pipp situation.
It could be a Wally Pipp. Jigga did call in, say he's going to win Gold Glove at catcher. That's going to be tough to do from the right field grass. But
definitely a trimmed down Jigga, we might add. So I don't know if he would have got to some balls last year.
Almost 35 pounds since last season to this season, Jacob Jigga Jamal. So a lot more speed out there, and he's a lot more comfortable now that he had a strong postseason last year. He's feeling good.
So who would have known that he's even an outfielder? So
well, I don't think he knew, but now we all know.
The emergency situation, we pulled through it. Very solid team that Braves.
Very, very solid. I mean, when you have speedy outfielders like Jigga with A.B. Cohen and Irwin Cohen, I mean, that outfield is phenomenal. Everything about the Braves team that's a really strong team.
And I'll tell you, I have to say, this is Sam Michon absolutely stole in the 4th round, which is still I still can't believe how many teams passed him up.
Yeah, because every team took the big shortstops. Yeah. And then you're not going to take Sam Michon when you already have a shortstop.
Right.
I don't know if he was willing to play a different position. Maybe he could play. He wants to play shortstop.
He's a shortstop, but I'm saying some teams that didn't, like. I just said JT, as good as a hit as Saban, he passed up Sam Michon.
JT's draft we've gone through a lot, and JT was he got away yesterday with a win, so maybe there's a method to his madness. Right. But once you have Hank or Morris or Eddie Rishdi or whoever you have at shortstop, that's why Sam dropped. That's the only reason.
Yeah, home run, double, 4 RBIs. Anybody who watched him last year in the postseason, he was. He was coming along, so he's going to be a first-round pick.
He had a game-winning hit in the World Series, or I remember interviewing him after. I forgot if it was a walk-off hit or a game-winning hit or something like that. But very strong postseason last year.
Yeah. So anyway, they won. Both teams split. They won 9-0 in Game 2. They really hit Gindey hard in the first and second innings, putting up 9 runs. And
I heard that fatigue may have been a factor, so we will watch that a little closely, how David Gindey does in Game 2s.
Yeah.
But it is only his first week back after many years off. And he was facing a solid Braves team. I don't think either of these teams would have gotten swept so early on. So I think a split was the safe bet here.
Yeah. So a couple of players here. That,
Sammy Towell, the greatest first baseman in the history of first base,
Yeah.
went 3 for 6 yesterday. And John Eliezer, I guess, found his way to deal somehow.
Yeah.
Got commuted here, and he had a strong day at 3 for 5 as well. So
Yeah, the big question mark is going to be with the Hurricanes. Is going to be the outfield. They don't have a clear-cut center fielder, which is
they didn't make any errors yesterday, but
Yeah.
a lot of people told me they were very shaky on a lot of routes to the ball.
Well, it's also very conservative. So nothing, a lot of balls are going to fall in, and the gaps, nothing's going to be caught.
Yep.
It's going to be like that. And your buddy DT, how did he do on the day?
He went 1 for 2. He did not bat in game 1, which he thought he should have because he's ready for a breakout year. And I think he's ready for that breakout year. And I think he's going to get a chance because RB went 0 for 6. And, Zvi went 0 for 4. And a lot of offers on this team. So, DT, I think your chance is coming this year to bat in 2 games. Let's see.
We'll see. And then Sammy's definitely going to have some issues here with guys that are not producing. Richie Bry hitting 10th, and I've never seen that before.
And he didn't like it. 0 for 6, Richie. The Zolta twins are 3 for 11. I know they're not twins. You don't need to call, but they're 3 for 11 on the day.
Yeah. They had a rookie, Leo Hanono, hitting the leadoff spot. Center fielder on the Hillel.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's good, but you got to question putting someone up leadoff.
Yeah.
Against Jeffrey Saka in his first game. Jeffrey Saka will fast pitch him on the second pitch of the game, and the guy's already, his head is out. Who knows?
Yeah, so, but again, this is one of the better teams, and I'm sure Gindy's going to get, as the season goes along, he's going to find his groove.
Yeah, again, I think these are 2 of the stronger teams in the league, and they played each other. Now they each have each other off the schedule.
Right, so Jeffrey gave up 3 runs, I guess, in the first inning of game 1, and just 1 run the rest of the way. He's definitely finding his rhythm. 1
run the rest of the way for the day.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's split. Now we get to Memorial 3.
Yep.
Which we had, you saw a lot of this action, as you mentioned.
When I showed up at Memorial 3 Rivers Stadium to see the Pirates, the fans were going wild. It was an insane scene. It was off the wall what was going on, and it was because Eddie Hakeem almost hit the building in right field. He hit the ball so far, a 3-run homer, that almost hit that building in right field on Memorial 3 on a fly. So fans were going crazy, waving their towels and everything.
Now, in contrast to the games on Memorial 2, this was not a pitcher's duel over here.
No, these were a couple of ugly scores.
Meyer Safdie versus Nemi Katz, certainly not...
No, it was Meyer Safdie versus Charles Saka to start the game.
You're right.
So,
actually, it was Nemi. I think he got hurt in the warm-ups.
Right.
So Charles Saka, got all the time he needed to get ready.
Yeah.
And he struggled. He said he hasn't pitched since Hillel, and he was nervous. And he said pitching the majors is a whole different thing.
Right. Now, I got to credit the grounds crew on Memorial 3 because we all know the Brooklyn leagues were canceled, and a lot of the other leagues in town were canceled because of the field conditions. Even though it was a sunny day, it rained so much on the weekend that the field conditions were terrible. Memorial 3, when you got there on Saturday or whenever the grounds crew got there, was underwater completely, and the grounds crew got this game.
Actually, I should say all the fields were pretty bad. You know how much rain there was Friday.
Yeah.
But a real shout out to David, a.k.a. Juan Pablo Rodriguez III. So,
the third, yes. Following in his father's footsteps, who serviced our league for so many years.
Great job, and they flew him out to Colorado to try to shovel out the snow. So he's, I hope he gets back in time.
Well, it looked like Dylan G was on the mound for both these teams for both the games because we had a lot of high-scoring affairs here.
Yeah. So now this team, we all know about the Bad News Bears offense. No secret. We picked them to be a scoring machine, and that they were. I mean, I'm still not sold on this pitching situation with Nemi because obviously his stamina is going to be a problem, and now he got injured the second game. but boy, can they score. Huge game for Eddie Michon.
Yep.
Fifth round, Eddie Michon, I might add. 5 for 8, 6 RBIs.
Could be the steal of the entire draft. Eddie Michon in the 5th round. Eddie Rishney also went 5 to 7 with 5 runs scored. 6 for 7. Victor Dweck. I played with him last year. He had a very strong year last year, and he's parlaying that this year. But there's an old saying in football: if you have 2 quarterbacks, you probably have no quarterbacks.
Right.
And it seems like this team has 2 or 3 starting pitchers, and we'll see when, as the season progresses.
And their third string pitcher would have got in the game, I'm sure, because Nemi got hurt, and that was Moses, and he was, probably.
He's been nagging the whole season, but
he definitely could have got a job, and he didn't. He would have been in the game.
Why didn't he show up? Did he?
Rumor had. I don't know. I think he was trying to get to Eddie Hakim's restaurant before he got back. I don't know. But
well, Red is still available, and maybe at least we know Red will show up.
Yeah, no, that's definitely no question about that. Now let's talk about the Pirates, your team that you saw. Now they have Meyer Safdie as a pitcher. I mean, he gets the job done, gets the ball over, doesn't walk anybody, but really just puts the ball over the plate. And
there was one inning. Do you want to take a call now, or do you want to? Because I saw a big inning in this game that changed the whole game. There was one inning the Pirates had the lead after the Eddie Hakim home run. Meyer takes the mound after that. I forgot who was up. The ball went 2 inches off the plate, literally.
Yeah.
Literally 2 inches off the plate, fair ball. Kornman picked it up, threw the ball in the dirt. Beautiful scoop by Richter, but, the guy was safe. Next guy, Meyer walked. Next guy ripped a base hit.
I believe it was Charles Saka at a bases loaded triple.
Charles Saka ripped the ball in the right field gap over the right fielder's head, who I think broke in first.
Yeah.
So, the seams came off for Meyer, and then it started from there. The Bad News Bears never looked back after that. The Bad News Bears offense is tremendous, and they scored 11 and 13 runs, and I saw them in an inning where they had a man on third, nobody out, and they didn't score. So despite that, they scored 24 more runs. Down the list, the stats are jumping off the page. Robert Braha, 4 for 7. Morris Casson, 5 for 8.
Yeah, and oddly enough, this is without Joe Eshko hitting. He was 1 for 7 on the day, I believe.
Joe Eshko was 2 for 8. He did get a late hit.
He did too?
Yeah, in garbage time, according to the statistician over here. But on the other side, Jordy Ramel went 5 for 8. Home run, triple, double. So in the 2 games he hit for the cycle. Besides for that, there was not much there.
Mark Casson with a big day also.
Yeah.
So they're gonna put numbers the whole year. But again, this league is not built on offense. We've seen that over and over. It's going to be based on pitching and defense. So we'll see how this team responds the rest of the way.
Right.
Now the Pirates got major issues as we mentioned. Now they got to figure out Meyer got injured. We got to see what his status is, and I don't even know who. I guess I have to look for a picture, maybe Red. But there's some internal strife going on in the organization here, and
nobody saw this coming.
Yeah, Jaime Shama,
and where our Elias Sports Bureau is telling us Joe Ashkenazi was 1 for 7 with a walk, not 2 for 8. So my mistake on that.
Yeah. So.
But Jaime Shama.
There seems to be a situation where several members of the franchise are. Annoyed at him, and there could be some changes, and so we got to see exactly what's going to transpire. I'm sure they're going to have a meeting with his agent, and as usual, he's demanding to get traded.
I'm sure he's looking to get off at exit 105.
Yes, exit 105,
year.
and stay in that franchise, and so we'll see if that happens.
We'll see if the Pirates bend to his demands and get nothing in return, or if they make him play on their team. Who knows?
Yeah, so we'll see, but. They got Jordy. I mean, they got a very good team, solid team. Richter didn't really have such a big game this week, 2 for 6. Usually it's a lot better than that.
And David Simon was a late arrival to the game as well. I heard he got fined by the Pirates for showing up a little late. He thought the game was going to be canceled.
Yeah, he thought it was Central Time, so he was a little late.
Okay, and Sammy Insane Sutton did arrive on time, 1 for 2. with a run scored. So it's always good. People always watching what Insane is up to.
So now they have to come into Olympic Stadium next week.
Yes.
There with a crowd that's going to be going wild. You know, they're 0-2. So it's gonna be a rough road ahead for them, and I mean they don't want to start at 0-4, but
I think everyone knows they played what people are thinking is the best team in the league.
Yeah.
In the Bad News, I think the Bad News Bears are going to have a lot of sweeps this year.
Yeah.
Depending on how their pitching holds up, but their offense has got to be the best in the league.
No.
So I think the Pirates got a rough draw facing the Bad News Bears so early. And that's the main reason they're 0-2, in my opinion.
All right, let's take a call for one more.
Sure.
Jack, you're on the air.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, caller, speak up, caller. How you doing?
Excellent. Thank you so much for taking my call.
This is Jack Jamal of the Hustle Organization.
We're so used to saying the Insane Organization, but
I had to change it finally, because only if I have Boris Shabbat we become insane again.
Well, Jack, tell us, first of all, I'm sure you were happy with Ike Mavora's performance on Sunday.
It's exactly what I expected from Mavora. What I'm most happy about was that shortstop. What do you think of that? How do you think that kid Eshko played at short?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. In fact, I spoke to you during the draft, and you said, it was either you or your dad was saying, how do you think Zach Ashkenazi is going to be at short? And I said, the guy's a star wherever he plays. He's a gifted athlete, and I think he's an all-star for many, many years to come in this league.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, he is, he's basically the key to the whole team. I mean, Ike, we know what we're getting with Ike, number 3 hitter and an elite pitcher, but this kid at short, I mean, besides, the arm, he has the IQ, and I think he's going to carry us, him and Mavora. But I want to tip my cap to the team that we played, Exit 105. They have a great team, and David, Dude, Brasco, what do you think about that play?
Revival. Dude Braca took a lot of heat last year, and I think he put a chip on his shoulder and responded.
I think you can see guys like Eddie Michon and Braca. You can see Sonny. These guys are high round picks. They went a lot lower than they expected, and probably have a chip on their shoulder right now. So
I agree. Those 3 guys that you just mentioned are 3 premier all-stars, and I wouldn't be surprised if those 3 had made it to the all-star team this year. I mean, all 3 that you just mentioned are elite players, and but I was just very impressed with your team. And what I really want to say is that I'm not calling to say, we have the best team. I'm so happy that there's such good competition in the league this year that I'm confident we'll get to the postseason, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. I mean, it's so deep, the talent.
Yeah. No, way too early to guarantee anything. But you had 2 very well played games, 6-3 and 3-2 National League style games, which I love. What's the status on Soli Shehebar, who I know was limping off the field at one point with an injury? What's his status?
Well, he came up with a groin injury, but 2 things we know about Sol. 1, he's always going to get injured, and 2, he's always going to play through it. He's tough as nails, and the guy is, even on one leg, he out-hit half the team. So I think it's just, first, second week, you said earlier, with cold weather.
Yeah.
We didn't have a chance to really stretch, but it's the kind of injury where, I think he'll be fine by week 2. So we're monitoring him. We're limiting some of his practice time, but he's going to definitely start game 1 next week.
And last question is Leo Pachotto. I'm just looking at the stats. Is 0 for 7. Did he hit the ball hard, or is he just a little rusty? Did he get robbed? What's the story over there?
Well, with him, it's like me. I was 0 for 6 also, and what happens sometimes if you don't get off to a good start, like your first 3-4 shots were hit hard, and you start pressing a little bit. And I just wanted to relax and know that, at the end of the year, he's going to be batting 450,
right.
200. I'm going to be batting 350. I just want my guys not to push. Just stay relaxed. Now one guy has to carry the team. We have a well-balanced team, 1 through 12. So everybody, maybe he feels like he has to carry us a little bit. But with the defense that we have, everybody just has to stay within their game, not try to push. And what you think about Avi's grand slam? I mean,
it was beautiful.
He can hit, and like you said, with your D and your pitcher, you don't need a ton of runs. You just need everyone to just chip in and do their role, and you should be fine at the end of a few games.
Let's not forget also, I might add, you missed one of the best pure hitters in the league, and Morris Haas Sutton was not available on Sunday, but he definitely would have added a big bat in the middle of the lineup there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, we faced a tough pitcher. You need, no matter junior or senior, anytime you're facing a Yedid, you're facing a very tough pitcher. And anytime you have Morris Chapman shortstop, it's like literally having 5 fielders in the infield. So, I'm not surprised. I was also sick from a ground ball hitter. Anything that was within 30 feet of the Morris vicinity is an automatic out. The guy's the best player ever to play YMSL, period. Him and Ali Marshall and Elliot Braha. I say this every week, but I want to restate it.
Okay.
Morris Chapman, number 1. Ali Marshall, number 2.
We hate to cut you off, but we got to take a word from our sponsors. But Jack, good luck the rest of the way, and your team definitely looks like they're gonna go a long way this year. So we look forward to seeing you.
Thanks so much, guys. Great job, and thanks again for running an amazing league. And good job, guys, on the year.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Jack.
So.